Why Not Me? A Feeling of Millions by Anubhav Agrawal. Chapter 8. Will I never know what you sound like? Okay, let's leave the love part aside. Tell me one thing. Will I never know what you sound like? I desperately wanted to hear her voice. Was it the same as the voice in my head that read all her messages, or was it prettier than that? Whatever and however it was, I was sure it would be the sweetest voice I had ever heard. There is always a time for everything. Maybe this has its own. Declined again. Oh God, she is so stern in her words. And what was the deal with this at the right time? I didn't get it. I guess Joya was trying to play it cool or make me chase her. But why would she try that? I had already fallen head over heels for her. But no matter how cool she played it, I was sure that the day I heard her voice, every cell in my body would melt. Ever since childhood, I have had everything I have ever wanted, without even asking twice for it. But it wasn't the same in this case. I knew that if I wanted Joya's love, I would have to earn it. Nobody could give it to me. It could only be won by persistence and effort, and I was ready, prepared to do whatever it took to get her love. The one thing I desired the most, and what bothered me, was that I had no one with whom I could share the things that were happening with Joya. Only Ankit knew about Joya, but I could not share anything with him because he was still in Sant Paul's and I had moved to DMA. Our school timing were different and the tuition timing were different, so we did not have the chance to talk to each other or meet as before. Tell me one thing, Anubhav. Don't you want to be loved, be in a relationship? Megha said. She's funny, but little did she know about Joya and my love for her. I met Megha in DMA, a sweet and certain person with curly hair and a crooked smile, a good person who would never in her worst dreams think of harming anyone, even with her words. Okay, I will tell you a little about myself. I am not the kind of a guy who would get into a relationship with someone just for the sake of it. Relationship is temporary. I know what I want, a love such that there will be books written about it. Oh, I meant it as a joke, but on a serious note, I bet that the girl who fallen in love with you will be very, very lucky, Megha replied and honestly reflected in her eyes. I could see that she really meant it. After I came back home from school that day, I noticed that I hadn't received a text from Joya. I was worried because now that she was living alone in Aligarh and she talked almost every single day, so I texted her, Joya ji, when you text me, it always makes me feel that at least you are thinking for me. Then the distance between us automatically seems smaller. I kept checking my phone every time it beeped and I thought it was a message from Joya, and finally after 30 minutes I got a message. Sorry, I was a bit busy at school today, couldn't text you. Are you okay, Joya? You sound a little low. I could sense that she was not a good mood just from a few words she had texted. I knew something was wrong, but I was also sure that to prove herself stronger, she wouldn't confess that something was wrong. Low? No. Why would you feel that? I'm well, very well, in fact. I knew she wouldn't share, but I was persistent in my effort and kept asking reluctantly. After about 10 minutes, she said that she was missing her dad. Tell me one thing, how would you even know that I was low? I sent a normal message. Nothing could have given away the fact that I was sad. She asked after I had consoled her, and finally she had cheered up a little. When you truly feel close to someone and want them to be happy always, then even a normal message can tell you that the person is not okay. And this time it wasn't even the message. There was this time voice in my heart and that kept screaming that you were not okay. 2nd May 2012, 4:31 p.m. I believe that was the time when Joya realized that I was not going to hurt her feeling. I guess she must have been quite impressed by our conversation, but I wasn't out to just impress her or make her fall for me. I wanted to give her all the happiness in the world, give her what she truly deserved. And listen, will you be free around 8 tonight? She asked. All kinds of questions started rushing through my mind. I finally replied, yes, definitely. Even if I am not, I know where my priorities lie. I will always make time for you. Just assure me that you are okay and nothing is wrong. Oh no, nothing to be so worried about. I just asked randomly. I still could not figure out the deal with her. She would always twist her statement and never really say what she wanted. Maybe she doesn't that on purpose to get me to ask her repeatedly, or maybe not. There is nothing to worry about, Anubhav. I asked because I thought we could talk on the phone today, and maybe only if you don't mind. I could not believe it. I started jumping with excitement. I would finally talk to her on the phone, and not just over the text message. We would finally have a real conversation. I could not control my happiness. I wanted to dance. I was so happy thinking that this call could be a stepping stone for us. Thank you, Joyaji. You made my day. I could not have asked for anything better. This is the most exciting moment of my day. I'm so happy I cannot even express it. Is the text that I should not send her, but I did not want to seem desperate. I didn't want her to think that I was some creepy, crazy guy who would jump in the air with the happiness just because the girl wanted to speak to him on the phone. So instead I sent her the I will be free. I know I could not have sounded dumber, and just as she said she would She called me at 8 p.m. My phone rang while I was in the kitchen helping my ma, and I had a pile of utensil in my hand. As soon as I heard the phone ring, I ran as fast as I could towards it and ended up dropping a few utensils which startled ma, but it was all worth it. The moment I heard the sweet voice saying hello, it felt like every cell, every tissue and every muscles in my body melted. And moreover, her voice was even sweeter than I had imagined it to me be. It sounded like it was dipped in honey. There was happiness all around me, and in the typically movie style, violins playing, people dancing, and leaves rust. That day I felt like everything would turn out fine. Finally, she might acknowledge that she felt something for me, even if very little, but that acknowledgement was what I needed most. We spoke for around an hour that night. 50 minutes to be precise. She told me everything about herself, her childhood, her relationship with her family, her friends. The conversation flowed. There was no need to pretend to be anyone else. She dropped her parents. They loved her the most, and she was the largely of the family. Joya had always excelled in studies from kindergarten to high school, and she aced every test she had even appeared for. She lived in a joint family, and everybody was so fond and protective for her that they called her numerous times throughout the day to make sure that she was having her meal on time. Her elder brother Jan was the guardian brother that every girl needs in her life, from protecting her at a school to making sure that her needs were met. He took care of everything after the demise of their father. Jad took care of Joya not like a brother but as a father. Joya had always wanted someone who would love her as truly and unconditionally as her family did, especially her father. She had good experience with love before, which explained why she was so distant all the time. She had made up her mind that one could only get pain and hurt from love, nothing else. But I knew that I wasn't going to hurt her and make her feel bad about herself. All I wanted was to give. She had made up her mind that one could only get pain and hurt from love, nothing else. But I knew that I wasn't going to hurt her and make her feel bad about herself. All I wanted was to give her what she wanted and deserved. I always knew that it could not be easy. Making her realize that my intention were pure was going to be the hardest thing I had ever done. But although hard, it wouldn't be impossible. Our conversation continued merely until her brother called her up and she had to hang up. But before she disconnected my call, I said at one last thing to her. Joya, I know you are scared of loving someone and that you miss your father immensely. I know that no one will ever be able to replace or compensate for the fatherly love missing from your life. But I would also like to tell you that I am not a guy who would take advantage of you. Rather, I will work my way towards your heart and make sure that I give you the love that you deserve, nothing less, nothing more.